15 of the most witnessed UFO incidents in history. The strangest UFO encounters ever recorded. Aliens, real intergalactic tourists, or just a bunch of blips on a radar? The debate rages on. Some people swear they've seen little green men waving at them from a UFO, while others think it's just another bedtime story for adults who never outgrew their love for sci-fi. Then there's the maybe crowd, always ready with a magnifying glass, a blurry video, and a tinfoil hat, because fashion matters even during alien investigations. Whatever your stance, one thing is certain. Every time a mysterious flying object zips across the sky, it's like pressing the big red button labeled National Freakout Time. Now sure, it's easy to roll your eyes at some of the more creative alien encounters. Sorry buddy, but that glowing frisbee in your backyard is just your neighbor's drone. But when the Pentagon steps in, things get serious. Back in 2007 and 2017, the US Department of Defense had to step up and say, okay, fine, those weird, spinning, hovering, unidentified whatsits? Yeah, they're real, but don't ask us what they are because, well, we have no idea. In the leaked footage, even seasoned Navy pilots sound like kids seeing a magic trick for the first time. What the heck is that? So, whether you're an all-in believer, a skeptical eyebrow raiser, or just here for the memes, UFO sightings have a way of making us all stare up at the sky with equal parts excitement and existential dread. Keep watching. Who knows, maybe the next alien sighting will be yours. Just, try to film it in HD this time. 1. Betty and Barney Hill, the OG alien road trip gone wrong. If we're diving into UFO lore, we have to start with one of the most bizarre and chilling abduction stories out there. The case of Betty and Barney Hill. Picture this, a couple cruising down a lonely road in New Hampshire at night, probably just trying to enjoy some peace and quiet, when, bam, a bright light starts tailing them like a nosy neighbor who can't mind their own business. Fast forward to them arriving home. Except, surprise, it's daylight. Their clothes look like they lost a fight with a hedge, their watches have gone on strike, and their memories are conveniently missing. No big deal, right? Except when they later underwent hypnosis, things got real weird. They described being poked, prodded, and interrogated by extraterrestrial beings. Honestly, sounds a lot like a bad trip to the doctor's office. The case was so strange that it got tangled up in Project Blue Book, the US government's former secret UFO investigation. Was it real? A dream? The world's weirdest case of sleepwalking? You decide. 2. The Melbourne 350. When a UFO said, "Catch me if you can." If you ever needed proof that UFOs are equal opportunity mischief makers, look no further than the Westall High School incident in Melbourne, Australia. On April 6, 1966, over 300 students and teachers were minding their own business when their daily routine got significantly more exciting. Imagine this. 5 planes attempting to corner a UFO like it's some sort of intergalactic game of tag. And just as things were getting good, whoosh, the UFO zipped away, leaving everyone wondering what the heck they just saw. But here's where it gets even sketchier. After the event, the school's headmaster and some mysterious men in black, because of course, they showed up, reportedly warned everyone to keep their mouths shut. Hundreds of people saw it, but suddenly, nobody was allowed to talk about it. Classic UFO cover-up or just a really well-orchestrated prank? Either way, someone out there had some explaining to do, and it wasn't just the kids who forgot their homework that day. 3. Zimbabwe's close encounter, when aliens came for show and tell. In September 1994, a group of schoolchildren in Ruwa, Zimbabwe, got a recess they would never forget. According to reports, UFOs decided to drop by for an unexpected parent-teacher conference, and let's just say, they weren't there to check on homework. The terrified kids later described the visitors as having big heads, no noses, just 2 holes, which, yikes, no mouths, and long black hair. Basically, the most unsettling fashion choices since the 1980s. Even creepier, these beings apparently spoke without actually speaking, using telepathy. One little girl, when asked what the aliens said, chillingly replied, "I think it's about something that's going to happen. Maybe the world's going to end." Fantastic. Because nothing calms you down like an existential crisis delivered straight into your brain by a cosmic stranger. Number 4. The Rendlesham Forest Incident. Britain's alien autograph session. If you've ever wished for a UFO story with a side of military credibility, the Rendlesham Forest Incident is your jam. Dubbed Britain's Roswell, this December 1980 event involved actual U.S. military personnel stationed in the UK. They spotted an unidentified craft darting through the forest, and when they investigated, they found strange hieroglyphics etched into the side of the spacecraft. Either aliens were tagging trees for fun, or someone was leaving cryptic Yelp reviews. The plot twist? Some suspect this was just the British military pulling a prank on their American allies. Because nothing says friendly international relations like making a bunch of trained soldiers believe they're about to be abducted by intergalactic graffiti artists. Number 5. The O'Hare International Airport Saucer. When UFOs ignore air traffic rules. November 7, 2006 was just another normal day at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. Until it wasn't. United Airlines employees were minding their business when they noticed a strange metallic craft hovering right over one of the gates. They watched as it hung in the air for several minutes before zipping off at a speed no human-made aircraft should be able to achieve. The kicker? The UFO never registered on airport radar. Because apparently, aliens have mastered the art of being stealthy as heck. The FAA, in their infinite wisdom, decided not to investigate and simply blamed it on a weather phenomenon. Because sure, we've all seen clouds move at warp speed straight into space, right? 6. The Frederick Valentich disappearance. The worst game of cat and mouse ever. Australian pilot Frederick Valentich's 1978 flight over the Bass Strait turned into a real-life episode of The X-Files. Except, unfortunately, he didn't get a season finale. While flying, Valentich radioed air control in a panic, describing a mystery craft circling his plane like it was a UFO version of Ring Around the Rosie. His last words, "It is hovering and it is not an aircraft." Then, radio silence. Valentich and his plane vanished without a trace. No wreckage, no goodbye note, not even an alien abduction receipt left behind. If that's not unsettling, I don't know what is. 7. Robert Matthews in the case of the vanishing hour. In 1966, Airman Robert Matthews arrived in Cape Cod, Massachusetts for his first military tour. He got off the bus, ready to be picked up, when, he saw strange lights in the sky. Like any rational human, he decided to immediately call the base. 5 minutes later, or so he thought, he called again, only to be met with an unsettling response. "Sir, our driver went to get you 5 minutes after your bus arrived. But you weren't there." Turns out, an entire hour had gone missing from Matthew's life. Welcome to the infamous phenomenon known as missing time, a favorite symptom of alien abduction stories. Either Matthews got a personal tour of a spaceship, or the universe just decided to hit pause on his reality for fun. Number 8. Broadhaven Primary School, the first-grade UFO sketch club. In 1977, a bunch of kids at Broadhaven Primary School in Wales saw a UFO while playing outside. Naturally, their teachers assumed they were making it up, because obviously kids never tell the truth, right? But when the students were separated and asked to draw what they saw, every single one sketched the exact same flying saucer. So either these kids all had an extremely well-coordinated prank up their sleeves, or they actually saw something. Either way, their teachers probably started reconsidering every imaginary friend story they'd ever dismissed before. Room 9. Barbara Lamb and the Lizard Man. When your house guest is a 6-foot reptile psychotherapist and crop circle enthusiast, Barbara Lamb had what might be the wildest home invasion story ever, one that not even a security system could prevent. According to her, one day, out of nowhere, a tall reptilian figure strolled into her house like he was about to sell her car insurance. With piercing yellow eyes and a vibe that screamed, "I know things you don't," the lizard man didn't hiss, growl, or demand a sacrifice. He just stood there, oozing friendliness. Now, most people would be running for the bug spray, but Lamb, she decided to reach out and touch his hand, because apparently, when faced with a humanoid lizard in your living room, a handshake is the way to go. Just as things were getting interesting. Poof! The lizard man vanished into thin air, probably off to haunt someone else's Wi-Fi connection. Moral of the story? Either Barbara Lamb is way braver than the rest of us, or aliens are really stepping up their game and making weird first impressions. Number 10. Fred Krisman and Harold Dahl. The UFO that didn't like dogs. In 1947, Harold Dahl took his son and dog for a nice, normal day out on Puget Sound, Washington, until the universe decided to ruin their picnic. According to History.com, Dahl saw 6 unidentified aircraft flying overhead, and before he could even say, "Well, that's weird," one of them dropped a load of metal debris straight out of the sky. The wreckage injured his son and tragically killed his dog, proving that even aliens are capable of being absolute jerks. Dahl reported the incident to his boss, Fred Krisman, who came to check it out himself and confirmed that yes, space junk had indeed crash-landed in their backyard. Then things got even sketchier. A mysterious man in a black suit, because of course, showed up, warning Dahl to never speak about the incident again. If that sounds eerily familiar, it's because this case is said to have inspired the entire Men in Black franchise. Except, in real life, nobody got a neuralizer to erase the trauma. 11. The Washington merry-go-round, when UFOs played peekaboo with the Pentagon. In 1952, 7 unidentified flying objects decided to take a scenic flight over Washington, D.C., specifically over high-security airspace near the Pentagon, which, in case you didn't know, is not where you want random things flying around. Radar operators picked up the strange crafts, prompting the U.S. military to scramble fighter jets for an interception. But the UFOs weren't here for a fair fight. The second the jets got close, poof, they disappeared from the radar. As soon as the planes landed, the UFOs reappeared like they had just been waiting for their moment. Even President Harry S. Truman was briefed, and Air Force Intelligence Director General Sanford held a press conference saying the military had reports from credible observers of relatively incredible things. Translation: we have no idea what's going on, but we're pretending we do. The official conclusion? None. The UFOs got away with their intergalactic trolling, and DC hasn't been the same since. 12. Japan Airlines Flight 1628, when a UFO decided to play escort. Flying a commercial plane is stressful enough without extraterrestrial backseat drivers. But in 1986, that's exactly what the crew of Japan Airlines Flight 1628 had to deal with on their route from Paris to Tokyo. Somewhere over Alaska, the pilots spotted multiple UFOs, including one that was allegedly 4 times the size of their own aircraft, because apparently some aliens like to flex. Naturally, they called in an emergency landing in Anchorage, because nobody wants to risk a close encounter of the plane crash kind. But here's the wild part. Ground control actually confirmed the sighting. Meaning for once, it wasn't just the pilot saying, "Hey, I saw something weird." It was officially recorded. In 2001, former FAA official John Callahan revealed at a high-level conference that the whole thing had been investigated and covered up. Because obviously, the last thing we need is more pilots freaking out about massive space objects tailing them. The lesson here? Next time you're on a flight, maybe keep an eye out the window. You never know who or what might be traveling alongside you. 13. The Muscarello-Exeter Incident, when UFOs decided to play chicken nature. It was 1965 in Exeter, New Hampshire, and Norman Muscarello was just trying to hitchhike home because walking at night was clearly the least of his worries. That's when he spotted 5 flashing red lights in the woods. At first, they just sat there, being all mysterious and UFO-ish, but then, boom, they came at him at full speed like they had a personal vendetta. Muscarello did the only logical thing. He dove into a ditch because when faced with the unknown, the tactical fetal position is a solid choice. Once he confirmed he wasn't about to be abducted, he flagged down a motorist who probably thought this is either a prank or the weirdest Uber request ever. When the police showed up to investigate, they weren't expecting much, until they saw the same terrifying craft themselves before it bolted out of sight. Today, Exeter celebrates this wild night with an annual UFO festival, because clearly when aliens traumatize your town, the best response is to throw a party about it. 14. A knock on Rick Sorrell's door, when the Men in Black came with threats. In 2008, the residents of Stephenville, Texas looked up and collectively said, "Well, that ain't normal." An unfathomably large aircraft, bigger than anything ever seen before, was hovering in the sky, taking its sweet time. According to a pilot named Stephen Allen, this thing was cruising at a ridiculous 4,800 kilometers per hour and being chased by fighter jets that were definitely losing that race. Rick Sorrells, a local hunter, also got a good look at the UFO, probably while wondering if he had the right ammo for that kind of target. But then things got creepy. A strange man knocked on his door, looked him dead in the eyes, and basically said, "Son, we have the same caliber weapons you have, but we have more of them. You need to shut your mouth about what you saw." Translation: forget what you saw or find out what happens when you don't. Moral of the story? If you see a UFO, maybe don't answer the door for sketchy government types. 15. Richard French and the drowned UFOs, when aliens became mechanics. Lieutenant Colonel Richard French had one job in the 1950s, to make UFO sightings sound like nothing more than weather balloons and overactive imaginations. But there was a slight problem. French had actually seen UFOs with his own eyes. At a 2013 citizen hearing on disclosure, the then 83-year-old finally decided to spill the cosmic beans. He described a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. Two UFOs had crashed into the waters of St. John's, Newfoundland, and instead of panicking, aliens were underwater fixing them like they were just dealing with a flat tire. Once they got their intergalactic AAA service sorted, the ships took off like nothing happened. And did French report this at the time? Of course not. Instead, he let the whole thing slide into classified oblivion, because that's just how these things go. So next time your mechanic takes too long, just be grateful your repair job isn't happening at the bottom of the ocean with extraterrestrials watching the clock. And there you have it. 15 of the most jaw-dropping, mind-bending, and tinfoil hat-worthy UFO encounters in history. Whether you're a full-blown believer, a skeptical realist, or just here for the weirdness, one thing's for sure. Something strange is happening out there. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed something in the sky that made you question reality? Do you think these stories are proof that we're not alone? Or just a case of mistaken identity? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of UFOs, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more people find these stories. And if you love content like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the next one. Trust me, we've got more bizarre, unexplained, and straight-up creepy topics coming your way. Follow me on for more exclusive content and behind-the-scenes updates. Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. While every effort has been made to present factual accounts, some details are based on witness testimonies, media reports, and historical archives, which may be subject to interpretation. Viewer discretion is advised when forming personal opinions on these events. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your eyes on the sky. You never know what you might see.